An eyeshadow is a cosmetic worn on the eyelids or under the eyes, usually worn to make the wearer's eyes stand out or look more attractive. And an eyeshadow palette consists of a variety of eyeshadows. Simple. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Ivy and I'm a makeup artist based in Asaba, Delta State, Nigeria. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my eyeshadow collection. I have a whole lot of eyeshadows, and to think that earlier this year I gave out a whole lot, loads and loads of shadows, and I still have this much. I'm really amazed. I recently purchased some more to add to what I had in stock. I need to give myself an eyeshadow ban for the next 1 year and try to use up what I have here, because anyway, this is your first time here, welcome. Please kindly subscribe to our channel down below. Okay, just click on that subscribe button and it will change to subscribe. Like this video, comment on this video, and let's get over into the video proper. So I have with me right here the number of eyeshadows that I own, which are 25 eyeshadows. These are just the palettes I have. I also have palettes that are made up of individual shadows, 2 palettes, but I'm not going to be showing you those 2. I'm just going to be showing you the 25 eyeshadow palettes that I own. 25 guys, 25. I don't even know how I managed to own this eyeshadow. I didn't get these things in one day. I got it over time, so bear that in mind. And let's start with the most important thing, which is what I look out for in eyeshadows before I purchase eyeshadows. The first thing I look out for in shadows are eyeshadows that are very pigmented and of good quality. Okay, so that's the very first thing I look out for, and most of these shadows, when I show them to you, you will understand that they really meet that criteria. The second thing I look out for in eyeshadows are eyeshadows that are colorful, eyeshadows that are neutral, so that I have a mixture of both the neutral and colorful palettes, so that on days I want to go neutral, I know what to reach out for, and on days I want to play with some colorful looks, I know what to reach out for. The third thing I look out for in shadows are shadows that don't appear chalky on dark skin. Eyeshadows that show up on dark skin and they don't appear chalky or patchy or just off on dark skin. So those are the 3 things I look out for in eyeshadow. So to begin with, I'm going to be starting with, well, I say my favorite of the lot, but just this particular brand, Juvia's Place. I have been using Juvia's Place shadows for a while now, and I discovered that Juvia's Place makes the most pigmented shadows ever. I mean the original Juvia's, if you can just lay your hands on the original Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes. And with me here I have 6, or I own 6 of the Juvia's Place palettes. I'm going to be starting with this one right here, which is the Nuban by Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes, and this is how the colors in this look like. This is a neutral eyeshadow palette, very pigmented, and it's one of my go-to eyeshadows. The second eyeshadow palette I have right here is the Nuban 2 by Juvia's Place, and it looks like this. This one is also a neutral palette, but it does have 2 pops of color, green and blue right here. Very pigmented, blends very well. As I said earlier, this is how it looks like. The third palette I own is from Juvia's Place as well, the Warrior eyeshadow palette. Looks like this. It's a neutral eyeshadow palette. I just got this a while back, like a few weeks ago, so it's pretty new. I just started using it. It's a neutral eyeshadow palette as well. The fourth palette I have right here is the Warrior 2 by Juvia's Place. Again, I just got this eyeshadow palette, pretty neutral as well. And this is an all matte eyeshadow palette with transition and crease colors, as you can see, that can show up on any skin tone. Okay. The fifth eyeshadow palette I have here from Juvia's Place is the Saharan 2 by Juvia's, and it looks just like this. It has 9 pans in it. It's almost a neutral palette, but it does have 2 pops of colors right here. It has a dual chrome color right here, and then this teal green color. This is a really beautiful eyeshadow palette, and as you can see, I have really dug into this palette. Like, I've used it a whole lot. The sixth shadow or eyeshadow palette I have from Juvia's Place is the Masquerade Mini by Juvia's Place, and it looks like this. These are the colors. This is like a very colorful eyeshadow palette, and I have used the living daylight out of this eyeshadow palette. I have really used it, and it's still going strong for me. Well, very pigmented, applies very well, shows up on dark skin. I really do love this eyeshadow palette. The seventh eyeshadow palette I have is from a Nigerian brand called Zaron Cosmetics, and I'm going to be starting with the Zaron Neutral eyeshadow palette in Earth. It's in Earth, and it looks just like this. It's your everyday neutral eyeshadow palette. This is like my daily palette. I think I should do a video soon of like my top 5 neutral everyday work school palettes. This is the 7th palette I own. The 8th palette I own is the Zaron Smudged eyeshadow palette. This is like a smoky eye lover's dream. Like, this just contains those dark tones, like times when you don't want anything colorful, you just want to go dark, you use this. This is number 8. Number 9, I have this Zaron Splash eyeshadow palette. This is an all, okay, it's not an all matte. It has one shimmery color right here, and then the rest, okay, it has 2 shimmery colors right here, and the rest are matte. A 9 pan as well, very colorful. On days when I want to play with colors, I reach for this eyeshadow palette. This color is not showing up on camera very well, but it's like a pink, dark pink color, really beautiful. That is number 9. The 10th eyeshadow palette I own is from a Nigerian brand called Zikel Cosmetics, and this was a palette that was a collaboration between the brand and a Nigerian YouTuber called Lydia Stanley. I'm just going to get something to block off the mirror, and this is how the shadows look like. 24 pan, quite affordable. It's a mixture of both matte and shimmers. Really nice, very pigmented. And that was the 10th eyeshadow palette. The 11th one I have right here is from a Nigerian brand as well called Nuban Beauty, and this is the Nuban Beauty Wishes 18 color eyeshadow palette, and it looks just like this. It's a really beautiful eyeshadow palette. Has really nice colors, and that's number 11. The 12th eyeshadow palette I own is this eyeshadow palette. I'm just trying to clean it off. It's really dusty. This is one of my OG eyeshadow palettes. I just have not been able to save up to get a replacement, though it's still going strong. This is an all matte eyeshadow palette, and this is from the Balm Meet Matte Nude eyeshadow palette. It's an all matte eyeshadow palette, and you can see I've hit pan on these three right here. You can see they are my favorite. I'm almost hitting pan on this as well. It's an all matte eyeshadow palette, really beautiful neutral eyeshadow palette. The 13th eyeshadow palette I have is this eyeshadow palette from Makeup Addiction Cosmetics, and this is Makeup Addiction Cosmetics Flaming Love palette, and it looks it looks really dusty. So I'm just going, that's how you know that I use this palette. Like, I don't just own them, I use them on a regular basis. So I'm just trying to make it look a bit more presentable. Okay, looking a bit better. There you have it, and this is what the colors look like. Like, among the shadows I have, this transition color and crease colors are like my favorite, and the pan is so huge. And then you also have this teal green color and this purple color, this yellow gold. This palette is really beautiful. If you have dark skin and you're looking for an eyeshadow palette, I would advise you go for this as well. It has both neutral, colorful shades in it. A bit more expensive than some of the other shadows I own, but it's worth the money. And that is number 13. Okay, now the 14th eyeshadow I have is this Huda Beauty Textured Shadows palette, the Rose Gold edition, and it looks just like this. I want this in a Huda Beauty giveaway, otherwise I would not have been able to afford this. This retails for around $65, although there is a more newer edition. This is an older edition. It looks just like this. It has really lovely, beautiful colors. Shows up on dark skin as well. The 15th eyeshadow palette I own is also from Huda Beauty. This is the Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions eyeshadow palette, and it has this very beautiful colors right here. Really beautiful. Shows up on dark skin. In fact, I use this eyeshadow palette for this eye look I have on right here, and then one of the other palettes, I think. So that is number 15. The 16th eyeshadow palette I own, in fact this should have been the first eyeshadow palette I should have shown in this video. It's the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette, volume 1. It's really dirty. This is the one thing that I wish Morphe had done differently, like used a plastic case that could easily have been wiped down. But I have been using this eyeshadow palette for a while now, and as usual I have to just try to wipe it off a bit so that it looks a bit more presentable. When I show you, you are going to know self that I've been using the living daylight out of this palette, and this is how the eyeshadow palette looks like. It has 35 colors in it. You can see I have hit pan on one, this one right here. I'm also hitting pan on several others soon. This is like your travel friendly eyeshadow palette. Like if you want your neutral eyeshadows, your colorful eyeshadow, like you travel with this palette, every single shade you need to achieve any single look in this life, you have it right here. You have your blue, your teal green, your purple, every single color you need is right here. I normally used to travel with this eyeshadow palette, very pigmented. Morphe and Jaclyn Hill did a great job with this eyeshadow palette, and this is the 16th eyeshadow palette I own. The 17th eyeshadow palette I own is from a Nigerian brand called House of Tara, and this is Tara the Makeup High Intensity Pigments. This is the Queen Idia palette. This palette is an all shimmer eyeshadow palette. It doesn't come with any matte shades, so whenever I use this palette, I always have to reach out for some of my other eyeshadows. I don't know why it's looking really washed out. Okay, this is much better. You can see the colors right here. It has 12 shadows, really beautiful. House of Tara did a great job with this. Quite pigmented too, and affordable as well. So we have that right here as number 17. The 18th eyeshadow palette I have is this eyeshadow quad from House of Tara as well, in set 03. This at a point in my life was the only eyeshadow palette I owned. That this is a new pan. It wasn't this particular eyeshadow I was using at the time. I have, in fact, that one I have hit pan on everything. I think I have tossed it off. This one right here is a replacement. Before we started investing in other shadows, this was at the point was one of my favorites and my only eyeshadow palette that I owned that could deliver. You know, in Nigeria here we had those cheap market eyeshadow palettes you could find in the market, Davies and some other brands, and you know, as you apply them, they pour all over the face, and when you blink they stain. You know, I just saved up at the time and got this, and this eyeshadow palette up till now I really do love. I still use. I just got this, and you know, I ran out of mine, and the other day I was just like, oh, I wish I had this, and I went to the House of Tara shop right here in Asaba and got it, and I am happy that I own it now. I can't wait to play with this. Really pigmented, very nice as well. This gold eyeshadow palette in this gold right here, oh gosh, it's this one. It's a banger. Okay, that's number 18. The 19th eyeshadow palette I own is from House of Tara as well. This is an eyeshadow trio. Well, it's still a palette anyway, and it looks like this. Is the House of Tara trio eyeshadow in Inem, and it looks like this. It has a transition color, a crease color, has a transition color, a black color, and this earthy shadow right here. When I initially started my makeup artistry journey, this was like a staple in my kit, because with this eyeshadow, most from bridal makeup, it was just the bomb. I still use it to this date. This is a new one. I have the other one I have hit. I think I've run out of this shade right here, so I decided to get a replacement, and this is it right here, number 19. The 20th eyeshadow I own is an eyeshadow duo. I really don't know what this eyeshadow is doing here, but this is one of my holy grail favorites. Unfortunately, Avon has discontinued this, but I have a backup of this. Now, I really do love this eyeshadow duo. It's it's quite pigmented, but it gives this soft look. I love this color a lot for my brow bone highlight. I could also use it to highlight my cheekbones, like gives that subtle well blended highlight. On this I want like a very natural look, I go in with this and it gives me that subtle natural eye look. I love this palette a whole lot, and I'm really sad Avon discontinued this, but if there's an older stock and you can lay your hands on this, please do. This is the Avon eyeshadow duo, true color eyeshadow duo in warm cashmere. Really nice. That is number 20. These two eyeshadow palettes I have right here, 21 and 22, are both from a Nigerian brand called Hegai and Esther. This one, the 21st eyeshadow I have right here is the Hegai and Esther Bed Neutrals eyeshadow palette in Magdalene, and it looks just like this. It has just like a neutral eyeshadow palette, really beautiful, quite pigmented as well. Shimmery eyeshadow, just as black as the matte shadow right here. Really beautiful. You can use this for a neutral look, bridal looks. Really, it's a staple. 22nd eyeshadow palette I have is also from Hegai and Esther, and this is the Hegai and Esther Bed Neutrals eyeshadow palette in Trinity. This one is a bit more dusty. Let me just clean it off. And it looks just like this. This color right here, this yellowish gold, has gone through a lot in my hands. It has like varying shades of gold. It just has beautiful colors. And the thing with most of the shadows I have left with me, they have, even if they're similar colors, but they are just of varying shades, so it's not like they're a repetition of each other. And I really do love this. The 23rd eyeshadow I have right here is from a brand called Wet n Wild. This eyeshadow palette is falling off. We are seeing better days, and this is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone eyeshadow palette. It looks just like this. Wet n Wild is one of the most affordable, extremely pigmented eyeshadow. As in, this eyeshadow I think I've had this eyeshadow for the longest among the shadows I have right here, and I'm a big fan on this. These shadows are really pigmented, and Wet n Wild recently reformulated. I saw this in my next World Green order. I'm going to try to order this same palette and see if it's still the same thing. I'll probably give this one out, or the new one, I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. I feel like I have seen 1 or 2 reviews and people have been complaining that this formula was much better. I really do love this eyeshadow a lot. Still pigmented, still going strong. And this is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone eyeshadow palette. That is the 23rd eyeshadow palette I own. The 24th eyeshadow palette I own is also from Wet n Wild. It's also from Wet n Wild, and this is the 737 Blue Had Me at Hello eyeshadow palette. Like I said at the beginning of this video, some things stand out for me. It's either a colorful eyeshadow palette or a neutral one. Some few ones I own actually is a combination of both, but these are the kind of shadows that pull me. This is a colorful eyeshadow palette, and this blue eyeshadow right here. This blue eyeshadow right here. Outside the Juvia's Place eyeshadows, I think this is like, I've never seen any eyeshadow with this particular shade or tint of blue. Very pigmented. This eyeshadow palette, this blue eyeshadow does not joke at all. Once you apply it like this, Wet n Wild. I don't know, I think they just kind of fell off the wagon. I've not really heard about that brand in a while. The last eyeshadow palette I own is this one from Sleek Makeup, and it's the Sleek Makeup Eye Divine Mineral Based Eyeshadow Palette in the original 594. It's an all shimmer eyeshadow palette. It just has this matte black eyeshadow. So once more, I have to pair it with other eyeshadow palettes, like to get my transition and crease colors. I mainly use this for lead colors, and it has really beautiful colors. It has like greens, purples, gold. They are really beautiful lead colors, and I've been hanging onto this. I don't really reach for this as much as I used to, because it does transfer a little bit more than some of the other shadows I own. But you know, this is like one of the eyeshadow palettes I started makeup with, and I didn't just want to let go of it. I still reach for it from time to time, not as often as I would love. But that is it, guys. This is the 25th and final eyeshadow palette I own, and that is the end of our video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Don't go out and buy all these eyeshadows because you don't need them. You just need like one or two. Don't be like me. I can actually defend. Like, if you ask me to come and defend like a project, I can actually defend why I own this much palettes. But let's leave that as a story for another day, okay? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying tuned. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope at least you got an idea. If you're like newly getting into makeup, you want to start getting eyeshadow palettes, yeah, like my skin tone, like you got some ideas and tips on eyeshadow palettes you could get. And I also hope you subscribe to my channel. Like you've subscribed, just go down, click on the subscribe button and to change to subscribed, and then you'll become a part of our family. And I think that is the end of our video. Until I come your way again next week, stay blessed. Bye, guys.